thinking?
I thought it was not 10 o'clock. I looked at 10:30. I go, what?
That's because you're watching.
Are you going to talk?
Yes.
So she'll be 4.
Oh, 4. I got her on 3 here.
3's fine. 3's fine.
Okay.
You're on.
Good morning. I'm Paul Lane. You're watching the Weekend Boost, and we're late. I don't know what happened. I went through a time warp on the way here this morning, I guess. I'm Paul Lane. You're watching the Weekend Boost on KUHS, the stream on Melody Drive. I have my girlfriend Dee Ruby with me today, and I apologize. I sincerely apologize from the bottom of my heart. Today we have a lot of things we want to talk about. I usually talk about past guests that we've had on the show, but today, because of the shortness of time, we're going to get right into what we want to talk about. So, a couple of times before on my show, I've had a guest, Karina Cariñosa. She wrote the book Enlighten the Fuck Up. And we decided that we would like to order some medicine from her, ceremonial medicine, to help strengthen our relationship and to help us grow as a couple and to learn from in ourselves. And I also asked her for some medicine for trauma in my past of my life. And so last week we decided that we would go into New Mexico, up in the mountains and in an undisclosed location. And I took my dose and she took her dose, and we're just going to lay it out on the line. I took let me see. I took a half a hit of LSD. I took 1 Molly, which is an ecstasy. I took 4 grams of mushrooms. I took penis envy mushroom, albino penis envy mushroom, chocolate mushroom, and then another mushroom. I took dopamine, and you took.
Quite a different ones. I don't
she
know.
had a completely different medicine.
Overwhelming.
She got 2 Mollys and a half of a hit of acid, and then I gave her 3 of my mushrooms. They were in a pill. And so we were very reluctant to do this, and I'm going to tell you that if you're ever interested in going through an experience, I would recommend a couple of things. First of all, don't do this to get high. Do this to go ceremonially. And I know I'm cutting right to the chase in this, but we're talking about something that we did that was extremely sacred and ceremonial. And we were in the mountains, on top of a mountaintop where we could see mountains and valleys all around us. And as the experience started to occur, we took everything at 6 o'clock p.m. Last Saturday, and by 7:30 we were starting to feel the effects of it. And it was we felt kind of funny, you know. It felt we were laughing and giggling, and oh man, the sunsets in New Mexico are so beautiful, and that one was particularly beautiful. And so as we took everything in, I was sitting next to Dee on this deck on the back porch of this where we were, and she was saying everything's so enhanced, and as I looked at it, it was just so bright and so beautiful and just so just exotic. I don't know any other word. Anyway, we went through this experience, and as time went by, we became more and more involved in each other, and I made the decision that I have to call it spirit. Spirit told me to lay down, and I laid down on the deck, and I felt a voice in me telling me to push my butt against the bottom of the deck, and I pushed my lower back against the deck, and oh my gosh, I could feel this excruciating pain. I have no other way to describe this other than having something come out of my body, a physical essence come out of my body, not just an energy, but a physical essence, an entity, if you will. And as this came from me, I became very subdued, and I became very calm, and I believe something else came out of my shoulder or around my neck area, but as it came out, I felt this liberation, I felt this freedom, I felt this relaxed feeling I had never felt before. And I realized that there were toxins and things coming out of me that I did not want to expel around the place where we were, so we walked away from the house. And I began to spit, and I could feel what was coming out of me was not just toxins, but bad juju.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Bad juju, yeah.
What did you notice as you saw that happening?
Well, when I experienced it, you were in a battle, and whatever you were in a battle with, you grabbed my hand and you said, don't let go. Whatever you do, don't let go. And we turned against each other's backs, and we did circles, like a few circles, and he was talking to some spirit, something, but he was defending me and protecting me the whole entire time. And as he said, he goes, "We're not alone. There's a few of them," and he was still talking to them. And then all of a sudden, when we came back, he goes, "You never let my hand go, you know." But I was always told I was a warrior myself, and I am a Native Indian also. And when we looked at each other, I kid you not, his face was so vibrant with Indian features. He has short hair that you can see. I didn't see short hair then. And his eyes were just like big and green, and he says, "Is it you? Is it really you?" And I looked at him, and he says, "I found you. I can't believe I found you." And I looked at him, I go, "You left me. You left me." And we just embraced each other, and we started crying. I mean, just started crying like if you miss somebody so much that you just never thought you'd see that face again, ever, ever. So it was so intense. And then he laughed, and he said, "They called you Dorothy." And that's my real name, is Dorothy. But that didn't come out as Dorothy. It was, what was it? It was
a name kept coming to me, and I don't know the translation, but the only translation that I could come up with is pond swallow. A swallow that flies by the pond, and I believe that was your name.
Yeah.
It was so amazing and so intense, and we went through this for many hours. At 3 o'clock in the morning, we decided to go into my car because we were still outside, and it was so funny because we got in my car, and I sat in the car, and I couldn't figure out how to operate the fob. I couldn't figure out how to turn on the radio. It was like I was re-entering from something of my past. Unbelievable, people. I'm telling you, what we were not, I mean, to someone who was outside looking at us, we might have not looked like we were coherent, but we were. We were speaking very clearly throughout this. We never got to a point of overdose or a point where we were scared or we felt endangered. Not a point at all. And when I sat in the car and I looked at it and I came to my senses, I said, "Boy, we got a nice car." And it was just so amazing. Another point of note, that when we were on our way home, we stopped on the side of the highway to gather some flowers for some sage smudge that we're going to make, smudge sticks. And when I got out of the car to cross the street, I couldn't gauge the traffic. I couldn't see it. It was as if I had never seen a car before. And I got back in the car and I said, "Boy, things move fast." And I just honestly, truly believe that I went into a past life where this was my wife. We've thought about this before. We've talked about it before. You know, I know those of you who are Christian are very much against this, but I want to tell you that this is not anti-Christian. This is not anti-God. This was not evil. This was not of the devil. I'm telling you, it was not. When I came out of this, I felt very at peace. I felt like I had gone through an extreme spurt of growth. And whether we do it or not again, I don't know. But I want to encourage you that if you are curious about who is in you, if you have trauma within you, if you have hurt within you, and if you have questions that are unanswered about your life, yourself, your past life, this life, your relationship, I am going to give you this number of Karina Cariñosa, the author of this book, Enlighten the Fuck Up. She is a shaman who, after 9/11, decided to leave the United States, and she went to South America, to Peru, and she spent, I believe, 6 years there, and became a shaman. So if you are at all interested, I want to make sure that you get this number. Please get a pencil out, because I'm going to give you the number. Her number is 512-265-1344. I also want to tell you this. If you do decide to call Karina Cariñosa, please tell her that you got her name from me on the show. And if she sends you something, I am just going to tell you it's going to be overwhelming when you see it. When we got our packages, we were really freaked out. I mean, we don't take chemical drugs. We don't take, we don't take acid. We don't take mushrooms. I haven't taken mushrooms since I was a long time ago.
I haven't done any. I
You've
don't
never
even
done
know how to
anything.
take aspirins.
No, yeah.
So it can be a little overwhelming, but I trust it. And I knew it was in microdoses, so I knew that I'd be safe, and I wanted to try it, and it was a great, great experience. It really, really was.
Yeah,
And
and
at peace.
it was very peaceful. It was very enlightening. I have to say, enlightening is the most awesome thing I could
It's just
say.
gotten better ever since.
The things that came out of me, like I say, they were energies. They were, who knows? I've been told that someone put bad juju on me before, and I was not looking for that. I did not expect that. When we started with an intention statement. What do we expect to gain from this? What do we expect to learn from this? How do we expect to grow from this? We were very scientific, specific, and spiritual about this experience. And I just tell you that I am a firm believer that PTSD, trauma, can be treated with this medicine. And I call it medicine because it was truly medicine. I also, again, want to say this. If you order from Karina Cardeñosa, I'm going to tell you, if she sends you something, take it. Don't doubt. If you need some direction, she'll be at your service to help you with direction, with guidance. She assured me when we started our journey that she would be there available for us. We did not need to call on her through the night. We did have some conflict. I won't lie. We had some conflict, Karina and me, but it was something that does not need to be mentioned or talked about in this communication, because as far as we're concerned, there was resolve, and we feel that we got our money's worth. And I will tell you that this is an experience that is not cheap. We cost about $78 for each of us. Worth it?
Yes, definitely.
Well worth it.
Well
I
worth it.
truly believe that my intention for the rest of my life is, and my course is set. I believe that it's so interesting because karma is something that we believe in, and each of us was married for 28 years, odd number, 28 years, and our spouses both died, and we found each other late in life, and here we are. We're in our 60s. We're getting ready to retire, and we're pretty excited. In fact, more so than ever.
We also have lived along the same path.
Oh my gosh.
All of our lives.
When Dee and I first met a year ago, we talked about places we'd been, parks we've gone to, restaurants we've eaten at, movies we'd seen,
I'm sure
flavors we
each other.
liked. And there's just it's inevitable that we must have crossed paths many times in our lives.
Times,
And,
yes.
in the book Journey of Souls, they talk about in your life you will pass by or maybe run into that person. And sometimes in your life before, you make a pact that when you see each other the next time, you're going to give each other a sign. And we've done that. I'm going to wink at you. I'm going to put out my hand, and I'm going to squeeze your hand. And if in the next life you see me and I wink at you, I just hope you're not married and me neither.
Right?
I'm telling you, man, this is some crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Again, Karina Cardeñosa, you can reach her, you can order at 512-265-1344. I highly encourage you to experience this for yourself. I also want to talk about something else that we've discovered recently that we want to share with you. The other day we were talking to Dee's nephew, Kenny, and he was telling us about this grounding blanket. And I'm sure you've heard about walking barefoot in the grass and how it energizes you and it pulls the negative energy and it polarizes your body to the earth. So he told us about this blanket called a grounding sheet or a grounding blanket. And so we decided to order one. And it costed like about $130. And we put it under our sheet and we put it on the bed. And oh my gosh, I slept so good. I woke up at 5:30 the next morning and I was so rested.
It does energize you.
Every morning, every night since we've had it, I'm sleeping so much better. I've always slept well, but man, I feel like I'm
Deeper.
sleeping deep. Yeah.
Deeper, sleeping deeper.
Yeah, very amazing.
And that's hard for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's real hard. So yes.
So, with that, I just want to tell you, microdosing is something that I think can be very therapeutic. It can be very ritual. It can be very spiritual. It can be very to the heart growth. It can be such a growth tool. Karina Cardeñosa, an empathic, psychic, healers, weird stories, tough lessons, and resources. This book is a book that's very enlightening. She's very revealing. She tells about herself. She tells about what she's gone through. In the beginning, she had some psychological issues and problems, and didn't know how to deal with them. And you know what? She dealt with them all naturally. She dealt with them all with organic foods. She lost over 136 pounds, and when she came back to the United States, she's really grounded, and she knows who she is. She's announced that she's getting ready to go back to South America, and so if you think that you may be wanting to do this, the time is now. Call Karina Carinosa, 512-265-1344. Tell her you got his number from Paul Lane at The Weekend Boost. Folks, you are watching The Weekend Boost, KUHS The Stream. I am Paul Lane. This is my lovely girlfriend, Dee Ruby. Dee and me are getting ready to retire, and I got to tell you that this has been such a guiding rudder to help us on the focus and the direction on what we want to do. And we're very positive that we're on the right track. We're very positive that we have found the person we've been looking for.
Absolutely.
I feel that way. You feel that way?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't have a gun to her head either, folks. She really feels this way. But I've been so privileged and honored, and this morning when we were on our way to the show, we left an hour early, and somehow we lost the 30 minutes in the drive here, and it's unbelievable. It was some kind of a time warp. Honest to goodness, I'm normally a very on time person, and this morning just really just threw us off. Henry, I sincerely apologize to you. Folks, if you're not familiar with KUHS The Stream, I got to tell you, there's so many wonderful programs on here. Dr. Alyssa Robbins, one of my favorites, she does astrological and crystal ball readings on Thursday afternoons. Paul Chavez will follow me this afternoon from KDKO. He goes so far back in Denver. He's a rock in this city. We have Charlie Pacello on Friday afternoons. There's just so many wonderful programs that come on this show. And I'm just humbled and honored to be a part of it. I hope Henry doesn't fire me after this. And Henry, I wouldn't blame you if you do. But we're just excited to be here. A couple of minutes left. I want to talk really briefly about the situation of the COVID virus and where we are. I have some really strong feelings about it, and I'm going to really keep a lot of that to myself. But protect
yourself.
I just want to tell you that protect yourself. And you know what? If you think wearing a mask won't protect you, I think that you're making a big mistake. And what's going on in Washington, D.C. bears this out. And when you see who's getting the virus and who's not even getting the virus, and it's the ones who wore the mask who are not getting the virus. If you're washing your hands, if you're wearing a mask, if you're social distancing, you're protecting yourself, you're protecting your family, you're protecting your mother and your father, you're protecting your aged grandparents. And you know what? It's your responsibility. And for those of you who don't wear a mask, I do not give you permission to give me your virus. I do not give you permission to give me your herd immunity. Because I'm not going to be the casualty for the riddance of the COVID virus. The COVID virus can be done much more effectively, scientifically, medically, and logically. Folks, we only have about 5 weeks till the election, and your vote is so important. More important than any time and ever. I don't care if you vote red or blue. Well, I do. I want you to vote blue. I'm voting blue top to bottom. That's a fact. Every Republican in this office has completely enabled this president to be where he is. They have given him permission to obstruct justice. They've given him permission to break the law, to run amok, to kill 208,000 people. And those of you who know me know that I have a strong political stand and strong political opinions. I have a president who has wished death on me, who has wished death on my family, on anyone who's black or brown or old or sick. He's wished death on us. I'm not wishing death on you, Mr. President, but I hope that you have a Scrooge moment in the hospital. I hope that you are humbled. I hope that your eyes are opened. I hope that you see what death feels like. Because none of us is getting out of here alive, Mr. President. None of us. I want to live. I want my family to live. I want to grow old with this woman. I don't want to be a casualty. I don't want to be a statistic because of a president who would rather spread herd immunity than spread safety equipment. It's a small cost to pay with the great return. My safety is important. My life is important. Dee's life is important. Your mother and father and grandfather and grandmother are important. I also want to say one last thing. While we were on our experience, we got visited by grandmothers and grandfathers from generations past. We couldn't see their faces, but we could feel their presence. And I'm telling you one last time, call Carina Cariñosa, 512-265-1344. Order your medicine. Tell her what your needs are. She will prescribe exactly what you need. And I'm telling you, this is a very, very beneficial experience for you. It was for me. I'm Paul Lane. You've been watching the Weekend Boost, KUHS The Stream on Melody Drive. My guest has been Dee Ruby. And Dee, I'm sorry. Henry, I'm sorry. My guest, I apologize for coming late. I have no excuse. I just lost time. I will be coming back in 2 weeks to share with you some wonderful insights. Find a new author to talk to. You've been watching KUHS The Stream. Weekend Boost. I'm Paul Lane. Have a great day.